Arcane, League of Legends is a show that I wanted to review weeks ago, and unfortunately I didn't have the time to get to it until just now. It's not that I've had a lot of output over the last few weeks, and I do apologize for that. It's also because there's been stuff going on in my own life that I have to take care of, and so this became one of those backlog things. However, I finally have time to talk about this show, and it's been a few months now, I think, since it premiered on Netflix. Premiering in 3 different parts, 3 episodes at a time over weeks, this tells the story of Vi and Powder, 2 sisters played by Haley Steinfeld and Ella Purnell, who are growing up in the Undercity in Progress City, and essentially they're trying to make their best in life, but really the topsiders that rule everything else, they're rich and wealthy and they don't care what the hell happens to the people down below. And through a set of some very disastrous circumstances, both their lives are in grave danger when a certain thing goes horribly wrong. And if you've seen the show, great, but if you've not seen the show, I'm not going to talk too much about plot details. I'm simply going to talk about the show and give you my recommendations or thoughts on it. And the simple fact of the matter is I could not recommend Arcane League of Legends more. This is a phenomenal show. This does something that I often complain about when it comes to video game adaptations. Some of them do it right, and when they do, it's glorious. But what I really like about this is that it takes into account the fact that you don't necessarily have to be a League of Legends fan to appreciate the show. What I mean by that is this. Now, in the same time, you're making a show which is being based on a property and stuff like that, and that's all cool. But on the other hand, you're also showcasing something that maybe people have never even heard of. So how do you market that show? Do you try to make it in a way that is going to only cater to the fans, or is going to be for new audiences? You have to find the balance between the two things. So if you are a fan of these characters and you really like them in the games and you were a big fan of the games, I wasn't super well versed in them, for instance. So it really helped that while watching the show, I still felt like I was watching a show. It didn't require another level to appreciate it. And the best video game adaptations I've found do that. And this will probably create an interest in people wanting to play League of Legends, which I think is also a really, really cool thing. All the casting is really great in this. I mean, I have to give props to virtually everybody who's in here. The 2 leads in particular are outstanding, but I give a special praise to Ella Purnell, who plays Powder, or Jinx as she's known on the posters. She is a remarkable talent, and she's had quite a year between this and then Yellow Jackets, and also she's in the Army of the Dead movie, and she's going to be in the sequel. She's having a great time, and she's really crushing it in everything that I've seen her in. But as far as her performance goes in this, I added to an ongoing list of people who deserve more than awards or any kind of certifications care to praise. A lot of times the voice performers, they get a lot of credit in terms of like fan reception and stuff like that, but I don't often see that kind of love reciprocated for stuff like, accolades. And it upsets me because there are some really talented artists out there who are not getting their due as a result of that, and I think that she's one of those people now. She's so good in this, and her performance is excellent. Her character is a very broken character, and she's going through a lot of different psychological changes as the show progresses, and they're oftentimes quite heartbreaking, and they're oftentimes reflective of just how much insane noise there is within her head. She's constantly having flashes of things that she's done, and as a result of that, she is doing things, or she's reacting to things very impulsively. And the way the show handles all of those things is really great, and it's such a big crux of the entire narrative, and it's all really well done. As an older sister to Jinx, Vi, played by Haley Steinfeld, is terrific, and you definitely understand the desperation in her. All she's trying to do throughout the entire season is get through to her sister, and she has no idea what the hell has happened to her. She's obviously been corrupted by certain individuals, who I'll talk more about in a second, and all of the things that have been happening, and the entire time you're watching the season, you're just trying to hope like she gets through in some way. So she takes hit after hit, punch after punch, stab wounds every now and then, and she's not having an easy time of it. And I think that particular exploration of their relationship, which is the crux of the entire season, is brilliantly handled. All the other stuff, when it comes to the politics of what's going on between the topsiders and the Undercity, all of that stuff is also really handled well. The conflicts that have arisen over the years, the fact that there has been so much of oppression and destruction to the point that they've been pushed down there, and the fact that stuff continues to happen and no one seems to care. Like, there is certain disparities and certain thematic the conversations to be had as a result of that, and the show tackles them in a really, really great way, particularly with its more second tier heroes and villains who are still very much a part of the story. As this is going on, they're trying to develop a technology upside where they're trying to basically create magic, and all of that stuff which is going on between this guy Jace and Victor as they're trying to work on the Hex Gate technology, and they're trying to create something that could help people, but it's going really, really sideways and it's resulting in things that are far more destructive. All of that stuff as it's coming together in the plot, and you see all of the other elements that are being used by the underbelly, by people like Silco, who are using this thing called Shimmer to corrupt people and basically make them these superpowered individuals who can basically do a lot of painful shit. It's all really, really crazy, and it's all handled so well. I was very compelled by this story from start to finish. It really is a testament to how well and meticulously crafted this entire show is. But the animation, we gotta talk about this. It is spellbinding, and I rarely use that word, and I am using it right now. It is a beautiful looking show. The animation is off the charts in every single frame. There are some stunning character designs, some excellent uses of environment and lighting especially. This is some of the best lighting that I've seen in an animated property in a long time, maybe even ever. The way certain scenes are just the way they use like spotlights or even colors and how those reflect off, like they've used it so well. It's a very tough thing to do sometimes, and the way it's done over here, especially with some of the more dramatic sequences, it's just amazing. It's really phenomenal stuff. Like, if this was a movie, this would be front runner for the best animated feature Oscar. It's incredible, really. And the shots that are there too, beautiful, scenic, and just euphoric shots that would honestly belong in the museum. Some of them, they're just absolutely remarkable. A great soundtrack accompanies it too, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of Imagine Dragons anymore, the title track's pretty good, especially when it's used in the show. They actually do that at one point, and I was very happy about that. Good. They used it well, and they use it pretty well. Like, I have to actually give some respect to that one. But really, I come back to the emotional crux of this entire thing. Like I said, is this sister's story, but it's also the stuff that's happening topside, especially when it comes to those two scientists who are working together. All the stuff that's happening over there, and it's all the stuff that's happening with Vi and Jinx, they all have an emotional core to them that is really delicately handled, to the point that you find yourself caring quite a lot throughout the entirety of the show. There's also a friendship of sorts, a relationship of sorts, I guess you can call it that, with this girl Caitlin, who is an officer, she's an enforcer, my bad, and she eventually gets to know Vi, and there are lots of hints of a relationship over there which are established, but she's also a really badass character who can really shoot off anything from like a mile away, so, you know, credit where credit's due. She is a really cool character. Really, they did a great job of fleshing out as much as they could, and I think for the 9 episode run that it has in this first season, it manages to accomplish something really great in terms of telling its story, and I can't wait to see where it goes in season 2. I'm very excited to see the story progressing, and I hope a lot of people enjoy it or have enjoyed it. Like I said, this review is a few months late, and like I said, I do apologize once again for that. And to those who want a rating, it's a well-deserved A+. If you guys have been watching Arcane League of Legends, what are your thoughts on it? Leave them in the comments below, let me know. Or if you have seen it, what did you think of it? What are your thoughts for season 2? Are you excited for that? Let me know accordingly. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and happy streaming.